So today I am working on. I thought let's do another one of the president's wives, and I didn't realize our third president. He was married to Martha Wayles Skeleton Jefferson, and she passed away about 20 years before he became president. And so I thought, well, let's see if we can do something that is kind of symbolic and representative of the president and his wife that passed away. So I just thought it would be, I'm going to see if I can depict this window in here too. Because we've got a window in here. So she's gazing out of a window. And so that could be even be one of the hauntings too. Now there's other stories about that. See, he never got married again after his wife passed away. Okay, we've got solid curtains right here. And so we've got some solid curtains right here. I'll work on them a little bit later. I just kind of wanted to get the gist of what I'm making here down. I'm pretty sure I left myself enough room here to... Okay, so her shoulders kind of go out like this. And then down. And then her arms go down. I don't know. Well, yeah, they are kind of... That almost looks too wide. I don't want her to look like a quarterback, really. Okay, so... Okay, so let's do... She's kind of got on a dress like this. And... Oh my goodness, I hope I left myself enough room to, maybe I need to make her a little bit shorter. I think I need to make her a little bit shorter. That's what I'm going to do. And let's see. Yeah, I think this will work like that. That's a little bit better there than what I had going on. And so we're going to take this up here. Hello. Hello, everyone popping in here right now. Okay, so we've got kind of a, this little frilly gown going on here like this. And this is what I wanted. Let's get this up here so we can see. And so, Martha Wayles Skeleton. I mean, think of the name, Skeleton. I never knew her name was Skeleton, but her name is Martha Wayles Skeleton Jefferson. And he loved his wife so much that he chose to never get married to her. So he was a single president, but they used the terminology that he was still married at the time of his presidency, even though she was never first lady. And so she's looking out here towards the window. Okay, so I'm going to take this down. We've got kind of a window right here that she's gazing out of. And if I need to, I'll work on it a little bit later. But I just kind of want to work on her. Maybe I should have just worked on her. Hang on a second here. I see we've got some comments coming in. At least one, which is kind of fun. Let me mute this so I don't hear myself talking when I go over to the comments. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so Rosalinda Zavella Garcia. Hello. So if you have anything you'd like to share, feel free to write it in the comment section. Okay, so let's take the arm down. Her hand kind of goes like this, and then we kind of gradually work it up here into the arm. Oh, nice. That worked out pretty good. Okay, we're going to take this one down like this and kind of do the same thing. Work it up here into the armpit. Oh, that worked out pretty nice. And okay, so we've got some, let's see if we can depict her hair. We're gonna scratch in some hair in here. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do. I have some streamers that I'm gonna have to try to get in here. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do them, but I've got some little streamers. And so let's see, there's some little shadows here on the back. There's a little bit of shadowing here around the buttocks area, the buttocks. Just a little bit of shadowing. It actually kind of looks like this is more or less her legs, because there's a kind of a gown that goes around like this, that I'm not sure. I feel like I'm failing miserably at this already right now. Let me see if I can take this down. Yeah, that'll probably work. Now she's wearing a veil, and that's why I'm doing it like this. And so this veil is kind of enveloping her whole body. There's like a veil. It's transparent and translucent. And so it just kind of goes down like this. I'm not sure. And so this is her legs. She's got on sort of a silky looking kind of a slip or undergarment of some sort. And then you can kind of see her legs kind of go down like this here. And so then we've got this little veil, and there is some little parts that kind of fan out, and she's just gazing out the window. I'm not, oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, let's do some little V shapes here in the elbow right there. Okay. We'll get some little V shapes going on in there. And so we'll get some down kind of, yeah, that's kind of what it looks like a little bit. This one's harder. I'll tell you that right now. This one is a lot harder, making her looking out the window. This one is a lot harder. Okay, yeah, those kind of connect in together like that. Now, the pictures I was looking at the White House, too, they were kind of interesting in the sense that they were showing, oh my gosh, the other one, what was her name now? I don't remember her name. Abigail Adams. They showed her actually hanging clothes in the White House, in like one of the White House ballrooms. They were showing her hanging clothes. And I thought, how interesting is that? So they didn't even have washers and dryers back then. I mean, well, they must have, I don't know how they washed the clothes. Probably in the sink. They talked about one of the first ladies who moved in and she washed the clothes in the sink because that was all they had. Yeah, I think that gets the gist of my image here. I'm hoping. Okay, hang on. Somebody wrote something. Okay. I've got a... Okay. Or did I miss something? What did I miss? I thought this, it looked like something popped up and then it disappeared. I'm not sure what happened. I don't even see a message retracted or anything like that. So it must be the YouTube filter that's popped in or something. Let me see. I don't see anything at all. I don't see. Let's see what community moderation is. Settings. Cancel. I have no idea. You want to? Okay, I don't know what's going on. It looked like there was a comment that came up, but then it just disappeared. And so, okay, so what I'm trying to do is sort of depict the... I'm trying to make it not look like too much of a mess, but it sort of looks like a mess, though. That's sort of what I'm ending up with, kind of as a little bit of a mess. I was trying to get her to look, some of the pictures they had of her. This is well, I was going to put dedication that's actually what I was going to put, but I think I put something else. But I was going to kind of make a little dedication because I liked the name Skeleton. And then I learned something today too, that she was not living. And so, so there's other people that have another story that they tell, and that story has been around for a long time. And so, but what they said was he was not involved anything with anyone. So that's what the White House says, is that Thomas Jefferson was not involved with anyone. And that he was basically, they claimed that he was still married to Martha. It's kind of ironic that there was two women named Martha. Martha must have been a very popular name back then for Thomas Jefferson and George Washington to have the same wife, the wife with the same name. I find that kind of fascinating that they both had their wife was named Martha. And actually, there's some pictures that come up that look like of Martha Washington. I kind of want to draw Martha Washington, but they got her looking like George, though. And it's like, that is so strange that Martha Washington, they've got her, the images that I find, they got her looking like George. She doesn't actually look like, she looks like George more than anything. And it's like, well, gosh, was a woman? I mean, is it possible that we could have had a woman as president and that a woman dressed up like a man to be the president? I mean, maybe we did. Maybe we had a woman as president and she had to dress up like a man just to get to be president. Wouldn't that be kind of fascinating if we actually found out that we had women politicians back in the day, but they had to dress up like a man just to be president? Because I believe there's stories of women joining the military, but they had to act like a man. They had to dress up like a man. And one of the things I remember too about the show, I used to like to watch General Hospital back in the day. And so at the beginning, when Felicia first went on to the show, for some reason, she dressed up like a boy, and Frisco kept calling her a young man, and so he was studying to be a police officer. And let me see if I can pencil in some light up here. I'll make her head a little bit larger, tiny bit larger, and pencil in some highlighting up here. But they made Felicia into a boy, and he kept calling her a boy and asking who she was and all this stuff, and she didn't want to talk to him. And so there was some things going on with her. I'm not even sure exactly what it was. She was hostile to Frisco, and so he was just saying, okay, well, I'll just arrest you then. Or yeah, so she presumably stole something, and so he was saying, and I don't know if it was maybe some food or something. She was hungry, and so I don't know. I don't know what was going on with that, but you know, it was just one of those shows that I liked to watch back in the day. I don't watch soap operas anymore because it's just the same thing. Actually, it's just a new generation. The same thing is going on. It's the same old boring thing. I don't watch them anymore because it's boring. You know, the soap opera drama things, they're boring. Very, very boring. And so I don't watch it anymore. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Like this. It's supposed to look sort of pleated, but I'm not so sure if it's looking pleated or not. But that's the object I'm trying to get. You know, so this is kind of like, I mean, her name is Martha Skeleton. That is her name. Martha Wayles Skeleton Jefferson. Now think of this. Wayles. Wales, like the Prince of Wales. Charles, it deviates back. So this is our early time history. I don't think America is stealing anything. Now, someone did say that the other day, and they have a right to their opinion. I don't think our country is stealing words or anything like that. I still to this day think that the words just gravitate around the world. And so we had British influence. So doesn't it make sense? We had British influence in the United States. And so the second president's wife, her name was Martha Wayles Skeleton Jefferson. It plugs in. It plugs in with the name game. Martha Wayles Skeleton Jefferson and the Prince of Wales. And at the time that our country was becoming organized, becoming a country, the British were inside of the United States. I mean, we had Paul Revere, the British are coming, the British are coming. You know, I mean, if you guys, I'm sure a lot of you remember that story. And so it just makes sense. It's like, I don't know, maybe she was from Great Britain. I don't know if Martha was from Great Britain. And so she was left behind. I never thought of, I guess I never thought of that. I mean, was bad things happening in Great Britain at the time that people had to flee Great Britain? And so this woman was actually from Great Britain, and maybe they were trying to do some type of royalty thing in the United States. Is that what all this is about? That they were trying to implement some royalty and a hierarchy of a prince and a princess or king and queen in the United States? And then the United States decided, no, we're going to do something a little bit different than that. We don't want to have a monarchy controlling us, because that's what we're leaving from, is the controlling interests of the entity who we're fleeing from. We don't like the dictatorship part. So I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just asking these questions out loud, just to ask the questions. But I wanted to plug the name in because I'm someone who looks at the trends, and I look at the commonality of the names, and her name, it fits right in. I mean, and how do women carry names? I mean, the thing is, she carried, well, all her names are showing up right now. Maybe in the past. And it's interesting, why does she have 4 names? Was she married before? Was she married to another man before she married Thomas Jefferson? I mean, that calls into question. Martha Wayles, so her middle name would have been Wayles? I don't know. her middle name was Wayles, or was that a married name to someone else? Martha Wayles Skeleton Jefferson, or was she married twice before she got married to Thomas? I don't know. I have no idea. I know there's a lot of things in our past history that it seems either it's hidden, gone by the wayside, or it's might be there. We just don't know where to find it. I know I don't know where to find it, my own self. I like that. It's not too bad. It's kind of heavy on the pencil, but I don't know if it gets across the, well, I could darken up some parts in here, add a little bit more shading, but I am going to have to darken some of these areas up too then if I do that, because it's supposed to be kind of transparent, translucent, and see-through like a veil. You know, I still want to see her body through this. Well, I think I can still darken some of this up here. I still want to be able to see her body through here, and I don't want the whole thing to disappear completely. Yeah, that brought it out a little bit better, so I can still enhance that and bring that out and kind of darken up this part in here so I can see her legs. I just kind of want to see the shadow of her lower torso down here. I mean, that's kind of what the image looks like. I mean, I have to have shadows in here in order to get the veil. I have to have some shadows. Now, it does look a little bit like there could be some. Let's kind of enhance this a little bit. Well, I need to, let me do this while I'm thinking about it, and let me do her neck. That's a little bit smaller neck, and I'm fine with that because she looks dainty, very, very dainty. Very dainty and small. Okay, and so I'm gonna enhance a little shadowing in here too. I like it, even though mine it's I mean, this is a hard, for me, this is kind of a hard thing to depict. Drawing something that's transparent like this, it is hard. I think it's very hard. I did okay. It's not perfect, but I did okay. I want to kind of color this in a little bit like this with some shading. I just want to shade in this a little bit like this. I am going to erase this in here because we can't actually see the window frame through there. Or can we? No, we can't see the window frame through there. So I might need to, erase some of this and then just add some of that other stuff back in again, because I can't actually, I got this one very heavy on this side related to the pleated curtains here, like that. I think I'm just gonna, yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll add a little bit more in here to cover some of that stuff up, like that. Add the pleated curtains in there. And there is a little bit of, a tiny bit of shading in here like this. Not that dark though. It kind of looks like trees down outside, that she's looking outside at trees. You know, the thing I kind of think about is, like, imagine this being the White House bedroom, and Martha Wayles Skeleton Jefferson is looking out the window down across the rose garden, kind of following her husband around wherever it is that he goes, and he's the leader of the United States of America at that time. And so for him, his baggage and his memory of his wife is still with him. That's kind of what it depicts. When you have someone you've loved who's passed away, it's not baggage. It's like we always hear people say, "Oh, it's baggage or excess baggage." It's like, no, you had a memory, and that's the same thing with bad relationships too. You had expectations and a memory of something that you thought things were going to work out a certain way, and they didn't. It's not. I mean, people call it excess baggage, and it's like, well, it's a memory. We all had expectations of how we thought something was going to be. Didn't turn out that way, but I mean, we shouldn't minimalize the relationship just because it didn't turn out how we wanted it to be. Now let me see if I can show this, or hopefully I'm not going to ruin it too much. There is a radiator here. I'm going to see if I can show the radiator. I want to add that in there, because then it's going to kind of show the period of time. Now I know there's a lot of places that still use radiators like this. I actually lived in a place, not in the United States, but in Germany, that had a radiator like this. And even car radiators, when you think about it, they're kind of the same way. Sort of. It doesn't have to be perfect there. We'll just get it in there, even though it's a little bit crooked. And then there's some little pipes here. Sort of looks like that is holding the radiator up to the wall. I bet the White House probably has some radiators left in it. I would hope so. If it's a museum, I would hope it has some radiators left inside of it for some period timepiece of things that we've had in the past. Because that's one of the things. It's like it shows where we were to where we go, as technology and things change. And I like that. It doesn't look exactly, and that's good, I think. And for me, this one was kind of hard, but it actually does look transparent a bit. It looks a bit translucent here, and that's kind of the theme that I was looking for, was the translucent veil here. And that actually does show up, and then I just added a tiny bit of gray here, kind of to mess it up a little bit, to make it look transparent. Well, another thing I can add through, I can't actually see the radiator through that, so we'll just leave it instead of making it too messy. I'll just kind of leave it like that. And we'll just put in a few more little wrinkles there and things like that. And maybe a little bit more right here, because she does have a kind of an hourglass figure here going on. I think we've depicted that, the hourglass figure here. And so it kind of appears that we can kind of see a little bit of a foot. I sort of wanted to see if I could get the foot shape in here like that. Yeah, I don't know if I did that or not, any justice. I was just trying to get in a shape of some feet there. I could have messed it up a little bit, but oh well. I just wanted something to kind of appear that there was feet there, a shadow of feet even. But let's erase it a little bit and fix it, because that I don't like that very well. So I'm just going to kind of put it back how it was, because I wasn't too fond of that. And so I think I like it like this. We'll just leave the illusion of the feet are kind of hidden towards the front. That's what I'm going to do with that. And I think I'm going to, oh, I know what's kind of missing a little bit, is this part is too white. I need to scribble in a little bit more gray to put in some translucency here with that. And so there is kind of a fancy carpet. Okay, so I want to darken this part a little bit like that. Darken, darken. It took, you know, kind of to get the ruffle in here. I mean, I'm hoping that the ruffle is kind of showing through. It looks flouncy. Flouncy, that's a good word, flouncy. The hand is down here. We'll darken that up just a little bit like that. Oh my goodness, it almost looks like we've got an owl hidden up here right now. It does. It looks kind of like we've got an owl. I'm going to leave that. Let's enhance this just a tiny bit. It looks like there's like little eyes hidden up there. Let's play around with that. Now this part we can bring out because there's no curtains over there. And so we can bring this out. So the part of the window is showing out there. The frame. There's like a framework that's showing. And I was going to see if I could get in some of the, we've got kind of some squiggly lines. That's the carpet down here. So I was just going to kind of depict some of the carpet that butts up. There's like a carpet line right that goes right up to the radiator like that. And then there's little squiggly design elements on the carpet like that. I'm quite a bit happier now with this. I was not too sure at first when I started this. It really looks almost like a charcoal drawing right now. I like it. I like it quite a lot. Okay, let me take this down. And let's add in one more curtain thing down there. Let's add in right there. And it does, it has a big charcoal feel to it. It's kind of fun to be able to make discoveries with the pencil that you can sort of do a charcoal type drawing. I want to enhance this a little bit here. I might have to sharpen my pencil eventually because, oh, that's why. You see the pencil right there? I tried doing it there and there's hardly any lead. Now when I flip it around, there's lead, but this side there's no lead. I've used it so much on the side that I've used up all the lead. Oh yeah, we get that charcoal look here. Oh, nice. So I'm teaching myself some things here by how to create sort of a charcoal effect with the lead pencil. And it kind of looks like a cross too. It really does. It looks like a cross. And so I just wanted to do something to honor one of our early on first ladies, which a first lady who passed away and she never got to be first lady, but technically he was still married to her, so she's widow, he's widow. She would have been a first lady, but she passed away 20 years before. Martha Wayles Skeleton Jefferson passed away 20 years before Thomas Jefferson became president. I think they said 19 years is the history of what I read. And so I guess, you know, this is kind of a nice depiction, and especially with her name being Skeleton, it's like, where did that come from? I would love to learn about the history of people who have the last name as Skeleton. I've never heard of that before. that someone had the last name as Skeleton. But that's what it says. That's what it says in the search when I searched it up. And even on the White House, that's what it said, was Skeleton. So I'm going to, the White House is a museum, and so I'm going to trust what's on the White House that they've got on there, that it's accurate for what they know. I mean, granted, there could be things. I don't know if they've ever said it, but I think the reenactment historians probably might say, or someone could say at some point, that there's just certain things that maybe they don't know. I have no idea. Oh, we've got let's see if we can depict this. Okay. There's a tassel. There's a tassel hanging here. Now that's something I used to have fun making, was tassels. Let's see if we can. It's a curtain tassel. You guys know what a curtain tassel is. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. The curtain tassel. We do have an awful lot of lead going on right here. Okay, so I have kind of another curtain tassel. Maybe I need to kind of jut it out a little bit like that. We'll get the curtain tassel in here like that. Yeah, that works. I like that. Yeah, I like that. It does kind of look like a period piece from back in the turn of the century. Things are not perfect. Now, I was thinking about maybe doing a drawing based off of the Abigail Adams and hanging her laundry inside of what I think is now a ballroom or something, or the East Wing. They said, oh, that's kind of sad. Abigail Adams, she hung her laundry in the East Wing, and I think that's the part that's being torn down right now. So that's the video I was watching. It said that Abigail Adams hung her laundry in the East Wing because she didn't have a place to hang her laundry. And so when it's cold, where else are you going to put your laundry but in the East Wing, right? You do it by hand. You wash it by hand. I don't know if she had staff or not. I didn't read about that. Well, I think there was people working in the White House. But, she hung her laundry herself in the East Wing. That's what I learned from the video. So, there, I think that's it. Who else have we got in here? Someone else come in. I want to say hi to you. Fish67 says hello. Someone is promoting their music right now because I recognize that number. And so they want to do all these promotions for themselves. And, that's the sad part, to think that you think that you're going to get an upper hand. I don't think that's how it works, though. It's not going to work out that way. Just because you have put something on the internet does not mean that views are going to be headed directly to your channel all the time at any given time. It's not. YouTube caught on to that, and so I think there's a music group of some sort that is doing something with the number 67. It's and I've noticed that with everything on YouTube, all the trends, any word that I put into search, someone else has already made something. So You can't claim it as copyright though. You just can't, because the trademark patent office, there's a limitation of what words you can use for um, to trademark as something, and to, as a brand and things like that. So you just can't do it. And so that's why people are questioning right now. So when you use the wording 67, and, people are saying, well, what, how are we going to do music? Well, with the YouTube content ID, we can't. We can't do music. So on Legacy Media TV, they just put people on who were bands, and they got paid. They get paid for their performance, or it's part of their contract, and so they have so many promotions that they have to do to promote their content, and then they're done. So they're paid for their promotions, but they're still getting paid for whatever it is they do. Then they're done. Well, doesn't your publishing company own your content now? So why do the artists think that? I know some of them have said they get little residuals and things like that. Well, you know what? You're not going to get the music. You're not, or money. You're not going to get the money. Your publishing company, you've already been paid for your work. The publishing company is going to get your money from now on. So, I know they always said that Elvis owned his estate. I actually question if Elvis's family actually owns his estate. Isn't his wife Priscilla still alive? And they only had one child, which means I have to wonder who gets the estate, because when Priscilla passes away, who gets Elvis's estate? I wonder. They always kept saying, well, the family owns everything. The family, the family, the family. Well, that's the story they tell. But technically, they were talking about that, I know, with Michael Jackson as well. But Sony piped in and chimed in, and Sony said that they owned Michael Jackson. They owned all his content. So there was another authority who was actually talking about this for a very long time, related to the music industry and who actually owns them. And, and that's why I always found it was funny, because the publishing companies, the book authors and the music people, they're out there plugging their own content. Now, granted, maybe that's what they have to do. They have to come on YouTube and plug it, and they have to go all over the place and plug their content and try and get interviews. Well, it's going to be next to impossible to do that right now. And because, they can't get on Legacy Media TV, and it's hard for them to get on a YouTube show to plug any content. And why are the artists responsible for plugging the content anyway? Because it's the publishing company that's going to get the proceeds and the money, because you signed a contract. You signed your rights away for the work that you did with the publishing company. That was the first mistake that you did, was sign your rights away, signed your work away to the publishing company. They own your works now. They own you. They own a piece of you. You don't own the works. And that was one of the reasons that I never wanted to sign up with a network. The gaming, same thing. So when people went under the gaming, they had money at first. They paid the gamers well, the first ones. Then it got to be less and less and less money as time passed. They didn't have as much money to pay the gamers, up to the point they had no more money. So now it seems like they're functioning as a network, but off of no money. And then they've changed it. I guess the gaming networks now have changed it, and they're just utilizing they should just go on ahead and delete all their channels. I think all these gaming companies and networks, even the ones outside the United States, they should just delete their networks, delete their content ID, get on out of that business, because it's a failing business model, and release everyone out of the contracts. I mean, the people don't have to participate in it anyway. If you're not paying them to do anything, they don't have to participate in your network, in your shady, scammy network. They just don't. So anyway, I think I'm done, so there, I did my work, I did my part and made some original content here, and hopefully I provided a little tiny bit of American history education in making a little tribute video to Martha Wayles Skeleton Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, our third president of the United States, his wife. If I have it right, hopefully it's right. Hopefully what I searched up in artificial intelligence is right. Because it could be wrong. Maybe the presidents are wrong. I was thinking Thomas Jefferson was further, but I don't know. I don't know. It could be misinformation. As much as things are messed up right now, it could be wrong. Someone had told me at one time too that we had like 5 presidents before our country actually became a country. So what they were saying is that military leaders were the president of the United States, more or less. That's what I was reading, and I often thought, well, oh my gosh, that's dangerous. Oh, that looks good on video here. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit. That looks pretty good. I like that. It does look transparent, and it yeah, in comparison to the real picture that I have, yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with what I see right now. And a lot of things pop out. I can tell that it's transparent and it's a see-through garment that's over her head, and she's looking out a window. I think it's perfect. It'll be fun to do a picture to video and see what I get with it. Now this one is just a grayscale, a white grayscale type of color, and I'm going to leave it at the white grayscale charcoal right now. That's where I'm going to leave this image. I'm not going to add color to this one. Now I have other ones that I have added color to, but I like this one. She's got her fish hourglass figure and the little V's. I added little V's in here into her elbow to show the little wrinkles in her elbow. Simple little thing to add in there to pop it out, to make her, to make it where you see the little wrinkles. You can do the V's even on knees as well and make it look like wrinkles, or you can do a little eyeball shape. I should write on the back side. Who this is so I remember. Martha, let me write. Martha Wayles Skeleton. Whoops. Why did I write the K first? Jefferson. And her husband, Thomas Jefferson, was the third president, or that's what I got, because I asked who the third first lady of the United States was, and she wasn't coming up. So the third, Thomas, he was the third president. He was a bachelor. There's other people that tell another story, and I'm not going to participate in that. I don't want to tell that story because the White House actually recognizes Martha as his wife. They recognize Thomas Jefferson as a widow. And so I'm not going down that path. I'm not going down that other path. That's another story that someone else made up to change. And so, Martha Wayles Skeleton Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, third president, he was a widow. and he was still married to Martha. Still married to Martha. Thomas was a widow. Thomas was a widow. I think widower is for the male, isn't it? Yeah, widower is male. Widow is female. Widow is male. And so I wrote that kind of sloppy, but that's okay. So I just have a little memory on the back if I look in the future to see what I'm referencing again. That's kind of what I do sometimes, is I just write on the backs. Let me write on here. What's today's date? It's 10/27/2025. Let me do this. 10/27/2025. Okay, so you guys should know that, yeah, that I'm doing this live. I'm not artificial intelligence. I haven't plugged anything in related to repeat videos that a lot of people play in the live streams. And that's what they're doing. A lot of them. Oh, someone else. Where did they ask about that at? They were talking about how people. Oh, I was having a conversation with one of the other streamers. I think they were talking about that. Who was that? I want to. I like talking to him. Is he still on? No, he's not on right now. Who was it? It was another person who does art, and he was asking about how people do the picture-in-picture thing, and so the picture-in-picture that he's talking about is, he was talking about during live streaming. And so I think that's one of the perks. I'm thinking that live streaming might be one of the perks that people get as they gain more and more followers, maybe, or watch time. I'm just not sure. Because I know it can be done. I've done it before myself. When I had my original YouTube channel, I was able to have the desktop recording of the cell phones, but I think they might have canned that because the cell phones heat up. So even though it's there, I'm wondering if it has to do with the cell phones heating up, because I mean there are some aspects of the phones that until they can reduce the integrity and quality of videos, and till we can get things not bogged down. When the internet starts bogging down with buffering and throttling and a lot of people on the internet, that's when phones start heating up. And so and that's not good for the phones either. I mean, it's kind of wear and tear on the phones. But anyway, I think I'm done for right now. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.